Good day, my friends. Happy Groundhog Day. 6 more weeks of winter. That has a whole new meaning for me now because I live in a place that actually has winter. I hope this day finds you well. Please pardon the disheveled fashion look today. This is what I look like when I get back from working out. so, um, It's raining here today. It's kind of glorious, but it's like I'm a little bit, just disheveled in thought and in appearance. But that's life sometimes. And isn't it great that we get to work from home? So it kind of doesn't matter. um, if you would be so kind to write your name in the comments, that would be so awesome. That way I know that you're here. And I'm hoping that some of you saw my announcement yesterday to, please join me on this one because marketing is what we're talking about today. Marketing is really my weak spot. Um, so I have a lot to learn, as do a lot of you, right? We all have stuff we need to learn and keep working at, and to sort of keep moving along this path. Um, so, uh, yeah, so I'm hoping that there are those of you here today that can shed some light in your perspective and your particular experiences as you engage marketing your career to bring you more presence and more work. So, before we get started, I want to see who might be here. Oh, look, hello, Randy. Hi, Scott. From Rancho Mirage, so it's like 10 o'clock where you are. The weather in California is just so much warmer than it is here. Oh, that's a revelation. Anyway, okay, so we are going to talk about marketing. So, as I mentioned to you, this is not my strong suit, not my area of expertise. But I do have some instincts about it, which I think have just come along throughout the course of the time that I've been doing voiceover and watching different voice actors myself, and sort of seeing how the landscape has changed and all of that good stuff. So I have some instincts about it again, which I do think are sort of rooted in common sense. But there is a lot more to marketing than just common sense. Common sense is at the root, but there's more details, right? So here are the things I want to share with you, and we can go from there. And if you're watching this later, if you're not watching it live, again, really feel free to post your insights and your experiences. This to me, this subject is like really worthy of group effort. So, um, here's some things I know. We cannot market randomly, right? So there has to be a consistency to it, right? The whole point of marketing is to um, kind of announce your presence, right? So it's not enough to just announce it once, right? Your name needs to be in front of people on a regular basis. Um, and that means that we have to have a consistent and ongoing marketing plan. It becomes really a waste of time and effort and sometimes money um, to just kind of decide you're going to do one thing once a year, right? And that will yield little to no response, right? Because people, we're creatures of habit. We need to see things over and over again before it registers in our brains and we go, oh, I've heard that name before. Oh, yeah, I actually do that kind of work and I need that kind of person, right? Perhaps I'll call him, right? Um, so consistency is key. You need to have a plan, right? And you can't just do it randomly. You can't market randomly and expect that there's going to be any kind of return on your investment of time, money, resources. Um, Something that I see really commonly is, and I've spoken to this before, and I feel like I've gotten in a little bit of trouble from my dear followers. But I see it quite a lot, and that is that people, we voice actors, we post our work, and I think we post our work. It's multifaceted, right? Sometimes we're just proud of the work and we want it up there. Sometimes we want our friends and family to see what we're doing, and it's a great avenue. They can all go there and see it, right? That's great. Um, but I think there's something bigger at hand, and that is that we expect somehow that posting our work will give us presence, and 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 therefore we can use it as a marketing tool. And this is what I resist, and I really implore you to resist it. It is posting your work on social media is not a marketing strategy. It's not, right? Again, if you want to post something you're proud of course, go ahead. I have done that, right? And I will likely do it again. But this notion that if you post all the time, you post your work all the time, I have to say, then really nothing is then special, right? It's sort of like, um, uh, it's just, it's not going to the right people. It's not in front of the right people. It's in front of your Facebook followers and your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, right? Um, so, so there are, however, strategic ways of using social media to your advantage, for sure, absolutely. But that's really going to include paid ads with targeted audiences, right? Again, you can't market randomly. It's just playing the lottery. And that ultimately, as we all have experienced, buying lottery tickets is kind of a waste of money, right? So, so in my mind, kind of a better approach here is obviously, is to set up a if you want to market on social media, you got to set up a strategy for it. And it's, when you buy ads on social media, you really specifically target your audience. That's a whole part of the process of buying the ads and all that. And you can do small buys, you can do medium buys, you can do big buys, right? So, um, and that obviously requires, it's an expense, is what it is, right? And marketing is something that we really must include in our budgets for how we run our business, right? Um, Probably one of the most effective ways to market is to target your current clients, because recurring work is the best work, right? Um, Quarterly or biannual newsletters sent to your clients on an email list, it's fantastic, right? These are people who already know you, who likely have more work coming, and who are going to need more voice acting, right? And so why not put your name in front of them? They've already worked with you and they have an experience of you, right? That's the best kind of marketing. Um, Let me see. I'm going to check in before I go to the next little line item that I've got. Let's see. Yes. Marketing for introverts and commitment phobes. Yes, Beth. um, oh my gosh, look at all these fantastic comments. I love you all. Um, uh, let's see. Yes, Krista, I think of it as a long-term relationship. That is absolutely true, and you need to keep it alive on the regular, for sure. Um, yeah, Scott, you have a specialty in automotive, right? So you do research and you of advertising agencies, right? That's exactly right. So you're about the business of targeting the very thing that you want to do, right? So targeting, 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 right? Um, uh, oh, wow, street cleaners. Yes, Krista. Social media generally, by and large, it's the wrong demographic. That's absolutely true. It's your friends. It's mostly your friends, some work colleagues, but um, it is. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed by all your posts here. Yes, your website is for that, and there's all kinds of stuff. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about next. Is like, what's your website for, right? Which is great. Um, let's see. Yeah, really great comments. I will come back to some of these. Yes, Brad Highland. Sometimes I make strategic posts of short jobs or short clips, but I tag my customer. Yes, and make it more about highlighting their product or service and to thank them. Absolutely. It's one of the best ways. It's one of the best ways to use social media is to sing the praises of others. And if you can sing the praises of the people that you're working for, right, that is even more fantastic because those folks largely go unsung in everything because they're all working in the background, right? So fantastic. What great comments. So one of the things, yes, that let's see. Oh my gosh, like it's out of control. Yeah, Christy, when you say it's what your website is for, yes. So I spoke with a sort of a voiceover marketing guru and manager the other day, and we were talking about marketing, and she was asking me about um, whether or not I sort of used and engaged search engine optimization, and I'm like, yeah, no, like I'm not really like again, marketing is not my thing, and I have not engaged it. So so that involves, right, a process of, you know, keywording what you do and making sure that then when people do a search for voice actors for a particular type of read, that you have appropriate keywords to what you do, and so you come up in the search, right? Like that's super. I think that's kind of savvy kind of marketing, right? There are and again, I have a lot of work to do in this area, but it's something that I'm about to embark on, right? So as I do it, I will absolutely share with you what I learn. Um, but this manager I was talking to was really enlightened me as to where our work comes from these days, you know, in the year 2022. And her perspective was that most people who are working in voiceover, right, about probably 80% of the work that they secure comes from pay to play sites and from their own direct marketing and doing things like search engine optimization, which she has a couple of clients for whom that works so well that they come up, they're targeted, and they get calls, right? And so and that, interestingly enough, for those of you who are really fixated on getting agents on the coasts, like, you know, New York, LA, right? Um, Only about 10 to 20% of these people's income comes from agents. Like, so we have to sort of take the big agent myth like down a few notches, right? Like we voiceover in the 21st century is really all about entrepreneurship, and it is about learning how to market and to sell yourself, right? And sell yourself, you know, what a hideous phrase. But to target the people who have a need for what you provide. That's really it, right? So we don't really have to sell ourselves. We're here to supply the need, right? So um, I will say this too. I always find, I have found that, you know, our best marketing, our best tool, right, for presence and people recognizing us, right, is doing great work consistently, right? And all of that stuff, that's not just what you sort of record, but it includes being on time and having clear communication skills and being affable with your clients, right? Being generous of spirit. All of these things add up. They make you who you are. They make you an attractive presence, right? And then that's, you know, that's word of mouth, right? Um, it's like, it's related to our relevance, right? And I've said this before, it's really imperative that you stay relevant to your client because that is the basis for word of mouth marketing, right? So I'm going to see if I can keep up with your comments because it's absolutely insane. Let's see. Oh, you guys. Yeah, if you can just again go through these comments, really, really fantastic. I can't even begin to decipher even some of the things that you guys are talking about because I don't do it. So, um, let's see. Yes, word of mouth. Yeah. Um, yeah, sometimes, Christy, those the agent jobs can be bigger, but but not always. Not always. Um, I do think there's so much mythology surrounding you know national agents, if you will. I think that national agents in particular are really good at sort of localized stuff like animation and video gaming, where like you have to be in that area in order to set yourself up and build that part of your career. Once you're established, I mean, really established, you can move elsewhere because you're in demand, right? But that whole agency thing, I should address that again in another live. But yeah, let's see. 3 agents and get less than 10% of my work that way. Scott Lawler. Yep, yep, exactly. Um, yeah, Scott, again, I ask my clients if they have a social campaign that I can tag on Facebook and Instagram, right? That's fantastic, right? And yes, because it's another opportunity to get in front of consumers. Yeah. So, marketing can also be looked at as it's a collaboration, right? Um, Really effective if you align yourself with your clients, right? And work together in um, in marketing and advertising in that way, and using social media to both your advantage, right? So um, I want to commend to you. What's the difference between recommend and commend? I've got to look that up. Um, I would like to recommend to you um, Mark Scott uh, and his Facebook group, VOpreneur. Um, it's largely about marketing, but it's about other stuff too. But Mark also offers courses in marketing specific to voice actors. And I just think that's a great, take advantage of experts in this way. Same with Anne Ganguza. I think she is someone that I would recommend to you as well. She's got good marketing strategies too. Here's the thing, you know, we voice actors, we think of ourselves as being kind of isolated, right? And that we have to do everything ourselves. And to a certain degree, that's true, especially when we're coming up and we don't have big budgets and we're actually trying to make money, um, rather than spend it. But ultimately, if we don't know how to do something and it is not our area of expertise, and we want to get ahead and we want to move forward, we really must enlist the services of experts in our field, right? So, um, I, you know, I'm doing that now. I just hired a virtual assistant. Like, oh my gosh, I'd say it's almost been a year, I think. Right now, that's an expense I wasn't expecting, right? But it was like, you know what? I have to move myself forward, and so and I can't do it myself. I'm overwhelmed. I'm bogged down. I can't do it, right? I can't keep up. And um and so you put out the expense and you start to see a difference, right? We can't expect of ourselves that we will be experts at everything. And so really avail yourself of people who know more than you do, in particular areas of work. It doesn't mean you have to spend all your money, right? You can do things judiciously. Take advantage of workshops where you can learn about particular ways to market, right? Those can be, really cost effective. Um, but the thing I don't wish for you is that we sort of do what so many people do, which is just throw stuff at the wall randomly, thinking again that if you post things that it's going to be helpful to your marketing, and it's not a marketing strategy. So I'm going to stop blathering about that which I do not know. But I hope, I do hope as you come onto this, thread, and I'm really, really grateful for those of you who are here and are sharing your experiences and what you do. I'm super grateful. So when you come on and you're watching this, take a look at the comments, right, and continue the conversation. Valentina, you asked, do you recommend Google Business for our studios? I have no idea. I tend to shy away from anything Google. I'm just not a fan. I feel like they're everywhere and I can't get away from them. It's like they're watching me. I can't stand it. So that's a visceral, ridiculous reaction to your question. I know that they have really good business tools, but I just tend to shy away from them, and that could be a big fault, of mine. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know enough about it to be able to recommend it. I have no idea. I know there are vast resources, to organize and streamline what it is that we do for a living, right? But again, I'm not the expert there. So those are two recommendations that I make. And if anybody else knows of people who are particularly good at SEO and particular, business strategies, please post in the comments. That would be super, super helpful. So I hope this wasn't too terribly frustrating to you. That I know so many of you come to me for an enlightened perspective, and I just admit to you that this is not my area of expertise, but there are a lot of people among us for whom it is an area of expertise, and so I would ultimately just say avail yourself of them, because there's a lot of great information out there, and this is a topic to me which is worth a portion of your budget, your business budget, right? I mean, we spend a lot of money on classes. We spend a lot, on training, like training for in the booth on mic. We spend a lot of money on demos. We need to spend money on educating ourselves about marketing, and then the marketing itself. And we have to stay consistent. That's the ticket, right? We have to be a continuous presence. I will say this before I let you all go. When I started working with my virtual assistant, a piece of what I wanted to do as a coach was to make my presence known, right? I mean, how can you coach people if people don't know you exist? And so a piece of that was my wanting to be of encouragement, and I wanted to post particular quotes, and I wanted to do that on a regular basis. And so I post every week on Instagram at the same time every Tuesday, a particular quote that I have found encouraging or thought-provoking, right? And my name is there. My name is attached to it, right? And that matters, right? And at a certain point, I feel like I'm ready to sort of switch up what my materials look like, right? Because we all get lulled, and it's like, oh yeah, there's that K-Best person posting those quotes, right? And we scroll on by. So it's like constantly refreshing, and all, we have to think about that, right? Like I'm still on the train. Like it doesn't end. The marketing thing, it doesn't end. It never ends. But I will tell you, it makes a difference when that stuff is posted every week, when your name is out there, when it's targeted and it's consistent. So that's all I mean for that. So I will leave it at that, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and a great rest of the week. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be in Anaheim all next week, going to the House of Mouse with my daughter, which is a big, giant trip for her because she missed kind of an 18th birthday, and she's graduating from high school this year. So it's a big trip. So I'm not sure I'll be here next week. I have to talk to Josie about that, my fantastic assistant. But if not, I'll see you the week after. Okay, take care, everybody. Ciao, ciao.